Hello everyone. I came back for my second video of self-recording myself with English speaking, and I came a bit earlier than yesterday, and you can see my screen a bit brighter than yesterday's because it's almost 7 p.m. around 7 p.m. and almost sunset time. So I can really see the sunlight, but it's there outside. And hope you guys have a very good weekends right now. And for myself, I'm doing really great. And since this weekend is quite almost like a start of the spring break, which starts from next week. But I guess almost almost every student just started their vacation because I could see a very small number of students coming and going outside. And even in this building, this is kind of a student dormitory, kind of student housing. And there were literally no one in the like gym or in the corridor. It was very quiet when compared to other weekends. So I could guess many students they went back to home or they already started their journey to enjoy their vacation period. Uh, and personally, I don't have my own vacation plans, such as like going to the other county or other cities. Actually, I wanted to go somewhere because uh, this is my second time in the States. And actually, the first one, I came for the short uh, period, like 2 weeks, around 2 weeks. And that time, it was kind of working around several states. Oh, I mean, several cities. And I really enjoyed looking around some places like stone mountains or like museums. Actually, it's a bit hard for me to now remembering those names of the sites, but I really enjoyed those journeys, tourings, and actually it was because of group touring. I really also enjoyed time with the people I spent with. But now, when compared to that tour, for this vacation, I am alone here, and as you know, when you plan for traveling these states, you need a car, right? So it's a bit hard to move around without a car when you consider using some transportations like bus or other vehicles. It's way too harder to move around, and it's limit. I feel like it's a bit limited to move from one point to the other in a very appropriate and efficient way. So I was considering to visit some places nearby here, but and then I just turned out that I was too lazy to look around, find out some more solutions for myself, some touring plans for myself. So I just gave up. Eventually, I just gave up to plan something very specific to visit somewhere or traveling somewhere, but instead, I just decided to complement my coursework and concentrate more on my works here that is remaining for the next deadline. Actually, I have some more time, spare time for that. But, if there's personally, if there's something to be done for myself, then I don't feel like I'm free of that task. So I just want to finish that all before I go into my own free time. And that's why I just decided not to really go around here and there for my vacation, but instead just take some rest and just make myself a bit comfortable in my place. And yeah, just complete my all the tasks that's in my hands. And I hope this is not just my excuse for my laziness. Yep. So one of the most important reasons that I didn't really decide to move around is that my issue with my health. Because a few weeks ago I had very big sprain in my back, and actually, it was my first time to get this pain in my back, and it was very much painful. And in that day, on that day, I really literally couldn't move around, couldn't sit like this, or even it was really painful to lay down myself in the bed. So I just spread some blankets in on the carpeted floor instead of this fluffy bed because this kind of fluffy bed doesn't make your back very much healthy condition, and it sometimes ruins your back health because it's too smooth, so it cannot really sustain your backbone really hard. So that's why as I know, it loses your back muscles, and yeah, anyway, it doesn't have really good effect on your back. So currently, I'm looking for some more solid materials of the mattresses. I still cannot find some appropriate one yet, but I'm looking forward for that. And anyway, what was I talking was I had some sprained back few weeks ago, so I felt like, oh, I have to be very cautious about my health. Otherwise, I wouldn't be really successful in my coursework. And even if in the worst case, I need to pause my coursework and then go back to my home, maybe. So I was a bit warned from that situation. And that's why I just thought in myself that I need some rest for my health, and I need some more comfortable mood and less stressed conditions for my mental and also my physical conditions to successfully complete this first semester. So that is my ultimate goal for this semester. So I just don't want to take that much of um, yeah risk for myself to get worsened on my back, and I just want to be stable on my condition. So that's why I just decided to leave. I don't stay in my home. Maybe I can like take a walk around the city together with my friends. Maybe. I really didn't really set a specific promise appointment with her, but maybe in few days we can talk about it, and yeah, we can hang around somehow. So I'm looking forward for that kind of refreshment. And other than that, uh, I'm not sure what the other guys spend their vacation for, but I think most of the local students who are part-time students in my department, I guess they are still working, both working and studying together. So feel like they have to work because those workplace doesn't have like spring break comes things when it comes to their business. So they need to anyway work. And I'm not sure about the international students, but as I know, most of international students, they are also working as a like graduate research assistants, so they still have their projects ongoing. And I didn't really get answer from them, but uh, I'm not sure they have to be physically in the office, but I guess they were still busy for meeting their project goals and keeping on their project work. Oh, what's all right. Okay, so that was my broad plan for my spring break. And yeah, even some professors sent some emails that not for only me, but for all of the students that the spring break will be a great chance to catch up on our delayed reading materials or some courseworks. So I also really agree on that. And yeah, actually I had some more thoughts on moving around some states. And even I really looked up some tourism books. Even I brought it from my home country about the US what do you call it? Attraction sites uh represented by each state. But I look through those books to find out some very attractive cities around this city. But eventually, I just gave up to choose one because I'm not really underestimating those cities. But for now, I just personally don't feel like I want to go around to see those like buildings or all the famous sites. But instead, I just feel more comfortable to be staying a little bit cozy in home. And yeah, I just feel like I became a bit older to enjoy those I'm not sure sightseeing. And I I just think I'm a bit too bit lazy to go around those. So this was my conclusion for staying by myself into spring break. And I'm really looking for that. I personally don't feel really lonely when I'm alone. And I'm kind of like a introvert person. Maybe you can already know about my through my video, but I really earn more energy when I'm being alone and I'm doing something very productive things by myself. And yeah, that's how I get my own energy. So I'm really looking for my vacation with myself. And yeah, there's a lot of list I already wrote down what I'm going to do in my 1 week vacation. So I will be quite busy for being alone in my spring break. And actually, I also have the other plan to visit Denver in the following week. So that's why I think I don't really feel that much expecting to looking forward to visit the other sites within this 1 week because I have the other chance to visit the other city in the following week of the spring after spring break. So I think that will be just enough for me to go to the other city. And it also is that plan is related to my like academic goal. So I feel like that's much more promising and more interesting for me from now on. So that's why I'm just feeling enough for not to go around. I feel like I'm excusing myself that trying to be uh trying to make myself understand about why I'm staying here. Anyway, it's already been like 15 minutes, around 50 minutes, I guess. So for my first part of my self conversation will be wrapped up here, and I'm going to the next part of my conversation. So it will be about chatting with myself with a specific topic. So I will ask ChatGPT about what I'm going to talk about today's topic. So I will ask him like to have a conversation with myself. So would you recommend any other very helpful to having? Okay. Actually, I got so many answers from him. Oh, he gave me four. And first one looks a bit too ordinary, like self-checking, how am I feeling today? How has been on my mind the most lately? I think it's too broad. And oh, this looks interesting. Second one was academic and professional growth. So under this topic, they have three following up questions like what have I learned recently in my research or studies? What challenges am I facing and how can I overcome them? Am I making progress toward my long-term career goals? Okay, I like this topic, so covering. I will be covering this topic about today's monologue. So I will be starting with the second one. What challenges am I facing, and how can I overcome them? About my academic and professional growth. So, okay, let me start with this question. So, what challenges am I facing now? Actually, as a foreigner studying for my master's in the other country, and this was my first semester. So actually, it was really hard to get used to every single situation I encounter here. Uh, and it is not only for the academic or professional goals, but also like just very ordinary, like just everyday tasks also made me a bit uh, frustrated sometimes and feel like I want to go back to home. So it was very hard to get used to uh, all those like environmental changes. And the one of the challenges that I had was the language, of course. The language we use in every lecture or just everyday situation. So, as you know, I use English and everyone uses English, but uh, and I thought before I came here, I thought myself that I was just good enough at using English. I'm not boasting myself, but I just thought I was just okay. I was just okay with like using English when it comes to like studying or working because before I came here, I worked in quite an international environment. So there were some foreigners who I worked with, and many times I used uh like like even like sending emails or receiving emails in English. I talk in a group chat in English, and sometimes I have uh regular meetings in English, leading those meetings in English. So I thought I was accustomed to using English in working environments, and I thought that I was quite good at that. But but here I was just feeling very bad about my English. That's why I'm recording this as well. But I realized that my English was not that good enough. And I was really frustrated about that fact. And it took me a lot of time to face my real level of English here. So when compared to like native English speakers, my English was really, really bad. And when I came in front of them, I feel kind of stressed because I know that they will understand my English because they are native. So however I'm wrong, make some mistakes or I make some wrong sentences, I was confident that they will understand mine. But however, the thing was that the problem was that I really couldn't understand theirs. Like, then that was really make me so down because like in my first class in some specific course, she spoke too fast. Like I was feeling like I am looking at the Netflix in like two times faster without any like captions. So thankfully she was recording kind of her courses and in the same time she speaks out, there were some captions behind her. So that made me really relieved about taking her courses. But anyway, it was way too fast to understand her. All of those pronunciations, all like collected, how does that, collected sounds of her speaking. It was really hard to recognize what does that meaning or what kind of like content she was talking about. And it was really it was really hard time for me to like realize that realize and also like admit that I was not really good enough to accept those like very fast lectures and made me really feel gloomy about that. Still, I really can't understand like 100% of her course, but at least I now admit myself. Now I admit myself that my level is here, and I'm just trying to get over this language barrier by myself. And yeah, it was really a challenging moment and made me very uncomfortable to staying as a foreign student here. But as you know, it's not no one's fault, and even not her fault, and even not my fault, but only comes from the difference that we are the other, uh, the, how can I say this? We are just the other different persons, and yeah, but for the other lecturers, it was much more understandable when he or she speaks in a just standard pace like this, or this pace, or just right pace. Then it's okay. But when it comes to a faster pace or just native students asking questions to the professors in a very very fast way, then even I couldn't really understand their question. So I had some more time for myself to understand that my English was different from the native English. And when it comes to my mother tongue, I understand that I don't really speak out in a 100% correct sentences, and even my speaking pace is much faster than using the other languages. So I understand that, but when it comes to foreigners' perspective, it's very hard to accept those different situations and uh feeling uh very bad for myself that I'm not really qualified enough, or I'm not really prepared enough for this course, or kind of really bad thinkings connects to my my language skills. So it has some very negative effects on my courses. Anyhow, it really did a very bad impact on my like self-esteem even. But nowadays, recently I'm getting over again for these burials, and I'm trying to get some way out for this one. So I think so far I'm trying to tell I'm trying to get over this challenge with this kind of recording task for myself, and also I'm trying to listen to some podcasts, which I didn't do ever before, but I'm trying to listen to some native podcasts related to my interest and my courseworks, and of course in English. And since they don't really provide some scripts, I had to listen by the sound and try to understand what the meaning or what the content's about. But I think that helps, and I think that helps me also be more comfortable to those natives' pace of speaking and their pronunciations or their intonations, and those kind of like practice makes me more accustomed to like the real native English, and also helps me like understand about the way they are speaking out, and yeah, all the kinds of things related to that. And the next thing I'm trying to get over my issue is that I'm one of the subscribers of the economics, the what do we call it? Like what do we call that? The brochure, not the brochure, but weekly journal kind of thing. Weekly journal in online. So I had subscribed that a long time ago, but I really didn't use it. I don't know why, but I didn't really use it for a long time. But now I use it very frequently to read through all those like English articles, and sometimes I listen to the narrations of those articles to get used to those like not reading by the article itself, but I try to listen to how I pronunciate those words or those phrases that I didn't know before, and I'm trying to get used to those sentences, or also some phrases that natives use use often in those like writings. So that's how I'm trying to get over my language barrier here. And okay, there's third solution for myself to get over my English is that I'm trying to uh hang out with some native, not only for native speakers, but friends outside together. And actually there is a very unofficial like social group, students group in our department, and uh I sometimes feel like I I'm not really uh prepared enough to understand their communication because as I said, the native students they those friends speak too fast and actually whenever they speak too fast I sometimes say like could you say that again or could you come again please, but it's really hard to say those like could you say that again every time. So I feel like I'm a bit sorry about my level to make them a bit burdened, and for myself it's a bit uncomfortable to mingle with them because I really can understand like 50% of their saying. So I felt a bit I it's hard to mingle with those activities, but I was not uh, giving up to hang out with those students and those friends, and I just keep going to those activities. And however I understand or not, I just go and I just try to uh, speak with them. I ask some questions to them, and even though I don't understand, and then I ask a favor. Could you come again? Could you speak a bit slower? Because I am a bit not accustomed to those too much fast native speaking. So I'm trying to face myself, and I'm trying to be just uh face my own level of English and trying not to be too shame about that because I'm a foreigner here and no one really expects the foreigner in their country to be perfect on their language, and sometimes as I learned from YouTube even natives cannot really understand 100% of their own mother tongue languages, and even I think it all applies to other countries' cases, and it's nothing to be that shameful, but it's just natural thing, right? So but to admit this kind of thinking, it took me some time, but now I just admit myself that I'm foreigner here, and I will try my best, of course, but I have to admit myself. I'm learning it and I'm trying to improve it. So I will not be shameful of my English level, and I will be just keep practicing and keep uh, giving myself some opportunities to get over those like barriers with mingling with other friends, with other native or international friends, and also make myself learn about it through like many listenings, many readings, writings. So we will see how I will improve, how much I will improve, or yeah, I'm just expecting myself to improve, and I hopefully believe that I will improve in one day, because at least unless I quit practicing it, then I'm sure that I will be reaching up some amount of level, even though it will not be like 100% native level, but I'm pretty sure that I will be improving much more than now. Yeah. Oh, I guess I think I am already past like 30 minutes, right? I didn't know that. Oh, I guess this was very much like critical issue these days I'm facing with. So that's why I was feeling more comfortable to discuss with myself. And yeah, I'm looking forward myself to improve in my not only for my English but also for my academic goals and academic expertise in my field and also in future career. I'm not sure about what will be the exact picture of it, but I'm open to many, many options, and I'm currently doing my best, and I'm open to many possibilities so that I will look forward what kind of way I will walk through. Yeah, all of my comments for today. And I hope you enjoyed my training for day two. And I will come back tomorrow again. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye. Have a good night. Have a good spring break.